Hello, hello. Good evening. My name is Heike Dempster. I'm the Associate Director of Public Relations and Outreach at YoungArts. My pronouns are he, her. YoungArts campus is situated on the traditional homeland of Native nations, including the Tequesta, the Calusa, the Taino, and today the Miccosukee and the Seminole. We pay our respects to the elders, past, present, and future, and recognize their continued existence and contributions to our community. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening for this info session that is dedicated to the TAP category of the dance discipline at YoungArts. We, of course, want to encourage all artists aged 15 to 18 or in grades 10 to 12 to apply. The competition and the application process, and then what follows is really the first moment when many young artists identified and acknowledged as artists. And YoungArts identifies exceptional young artists, amplifies their potential, and invests in their lifelong creative freedom. And yeah, the experience begins with the competition, and that's what we're concerning ourselves with today. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping notes. If you want to protect your privacy and you want to speak up or ask a question, please change your names to first name only, as we are recording this session to share it with people who couldn't make it this evening but are interested in tap dance at YoungArts. And we will also share this video to our YouTube channel. If you want to ask questions, please use the chat or raise your hand, and you can also speak up then and ask your questions. And yes, so it's my pleasure to welcome my dear colleague, Nidra Ward, Associate Director of Winner Programs at YoungArts, Dance National Selection Panel Chair Vernon Scott, and dance coach Marshall Davis Jr. Vernon Scott is a graduate of the Juilliard School. He danced and toured the world with many dance companies, including Felt Ballet, Elisa Montes, Stephen Petronio, Pilabolos, La Lubovitch, Mark Morris Dance Group, and also 7 years with Mikhail Baryshnikov's White Oak Dance Project, where he also served as the rehearsal coordinator and premiered his own work, Layers, with the company. In New York City, he has appeared in productions, benefits, and galas at Alice Tully Hall, BAM Opera House, the Metropolitan Opera House, Carnegie Hall, and others. He's currently president of the Martha Hill Dance Fund, YoungArts Dance National Selection Chair, and assistant director of special events at the Choice Theater. Marshall Davis Jr. is the protege of the late great Steve Condos. His credits include the following: on Broadway, Shuffle Along, Bring in the Noise, Bring in the Funk, and films Happy Feet 2, Tap Choreography, Revelations in Rhythm, Simple Sammy, Through Sound and Movement, and Marshall also teaches tap at Queens College and the Manhattan School of Music. So thank you again for joining us, and please, Vernon, take it away.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you all for being here. I usually gear this more towards those 15 to 18, but I see a face or two that might be 19 or 20, and maybe you are a teacher or something. So I want to please feel free to ask questions from that point of view as well, because we need you to help get your students ready. So yes, so first I'm going to talk about Young Arts Week. Everything we do are gearing up and gearing these kids, excuse me, to get to Young Arts Week, which means you've passed through the adjudication process, you become selected as a finalist, and you are then asked to, or you're flown to Miami for the week in the hotel to be with almost 800 other artists of different disciplines, as well as dance. There are 10 total, which are classical music, theater, visual arts, voice, film, jazz, photography, and writing. I think I got them all, and dance, of course. And it's an incredible experience to meet others like yourselves at that age. And pause, I see Michael Dascom twice on the screen. I see his name and I see his face, but that's okay. I just wanted to introduce you him right away to say that he is one of our winners in TAP in 21. Is that right? No?
It was this year, so 2022.
22. All right, because yeah, my brain goes, yes, 22, but I worked on it all of 21. Anyway, so we'll get to him to speak about his experience personally, if you can stay the whole time, Michael. Glad you're here. So going back to Young Arts Week, you're flown to Miami. You are introduced to a coach, which is going to help you hone your video or your solo rather, that we've only yet seen on video, to a better place for a performance during mid that week. And we'll work on other things after that performance with you. It's an incredible time to have one-on-one with a coach to sort of hone your work and your solo. In addition to that, there are master classes of all different disciplines within dance that we ask you to just try. You may have never had studied it before, but we're just sort of looking to see the all around you, whether just to try it out. How do you take instruction? How do you take criticism? What you do with it, the choices you make. And we just want you to be you and to have a great time during the week, and for us to get to know you. It is, of course, a competition, but it's organized in a way that reduces that kind of feeling. We are told after everyone gets through the week, and Michael, maybe we can talk about that. The top award is $10,000 and 5 and 3 and 1. Everyone gets something. So it's a great time of that type of value in money and also in experience. This organization is also the sole organization that recommends artists to the Presidential Scholar Organization. And that's a whole nother program that has its own application and requirements. And if you should win there, you go to Washington, D.C. and perform at the Kennedy Center, et cetera, and have that moniker and that award, both Young Arts and Presidential Scholar, your lifelong. Young Arts is one of the few programs that supports artists their entire career and life. There's a whole network. There are ways to find space, composers, other artists, people that are looking for someone like you. Young Arts can help you make that connection. Okay, so how do you get to Young Arts Week? Heike just mentioned the eligibility. I think it's one point that sometimes trips people up is that you have to be in grades 10 to 12 or 15 to 18 years of age on December 1st, the year that you are applying. So if you're applying this year and you are 18 on December 1st, you are available regardless to the 10 or 12, 10 through 12th grade, because it's 10th through 12th grade or 15 to 18. That trips people up. I hope I'm saying it clearly. I would say if on December 3rd, you turn 19, you're still available, or eligible rather, yeah. So just sort of keep that in your head. Okay, so then the way you apply, there's 3 levels of adjudication. You submit this video with the requirements, which we'll go over briefly. And there's a panel of people who see the first round of hundreds of videos. Certain ones pass to the 2nd level. Another panel sees all of those, pass to the 3rd level, which myself and the dance selection panel view. We usually see somewhere between 150 to 160 videos that we have to reduce to 22. And those 22 finalists get to come to Miami and experience the week and experience one-on-one kind of help and assistance and experience and knowledge. Then, before all of that, I'm working backwards. The TAP requirements are very specific. They're on our website. Please review them over and over. Review them with your teachers. Teachers, take a look and help your students figure it out. I think Marshall is going to talk more in depth about that. But the overview is that there are two-minute videos that you need to submit. One is a 2-minute technique, not to music. Well, it could be to music, but well, actually, no, it should be a cappella. The technique part should be not to music, and then a 2-minute solo, not over 2, but as close to 2 as you can get. The requirements are listed, all of the things that you need to have within that and how it should be facing the camera. And these are if you have questions, and I know Nidra gets lots of them, and we try to rewrite the instructions each year to hone it in so people can understand. But I will say, don't hold back from asking the question, because we really want you to get it right. We don't want some technical issue to prevent a fabulous person from coming to Young Arts Week. Okay. How are we doing there? Are there any questions on this kind of overview that I can answer before we go on?
There was a question, when does this week happen? So this week happens in January each year. For 2022, I'm sorry, for 2023 Young Arts Week, it is happening the 8th to the 15th of January. And we have been in virtual land the last 2 years, but we are aiming to be in person for this year. And that means it would be an all expenses paid trip to Miami, Florida, to participate in Young Arts Week if you are named a finalist.
Great. Are there any other questions, Nidra or anyone on the call?
Nothing on here. I did just want to go back to one thing you said earlier, Vernon, and there are only usually about 150 to 170 finalists. I think you said 800, and I was like, whoa, that's a major Young Arts Week.
Like, everyone, not there's more than 150 during the week of all of everyone.
No.
There's 150?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 100. Yes.
It does.
I know where I got that number. That's the start, like all of the applications maybe that come in and we whittle it down. Maybe that's where I got that number. Sorry. Strike. Okay, so Marshall, why don't you go into Marshall has both served as an adjudicator and as a coach during the week. So he has a wealth of knowledge about what he sees along the way and what he sees once you're there and how he can help you. So turning it over to Marshall.
Thanks, Vernon. I'm just gonna dive right in. Good evening, everyone. Just to talk about the application requirements, some of the things you'll notice that it asks you to submit in your technique portion 32-bar chorus. Inside of that 32-bar chorus, you should have the first 16 bars are 2 8-bar 3 and a break phrases, and then the last 16 bars should be improvised. So just to be clear and a little more specific with that, you want to count yourself in. So if you're dancing to a 4/4 time signature, you want to count yourself in that time signature. If you're dancing to a 6 or a 3, count yourself off verbally so we can hear the count before you start to dance. Don't just go. It'll help with the clarity and us understanding the context and your rhythm comprehension. From there, you go into your 3 and a break, setting up your 3 and a break phrases. Again, the 3 and a break should be 8 bars. Again, that doesn't matter what time signature you're using. So you have 2 8-bar 3 and a break phrases, and then the last 16 bars should be improvised. And Vernon, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this. With your allotted 2 minutes for that technique portion, it shouldn't go over 2 minutes, but you shouldn't feel obligated to then do unnecessary dancing that may not be the best representation of your ability and your comprehension to just fill up the 2 minutes. So you want to at least keep it to the 32-bar chorus, and then once you've ended that 32 bars, you can feel free to stop there. What else? I think that's pretty much it as far as the technique portion. I'll keep going. In regards to the solos, my advice is one, clarity, the clarity of your sound, and trying to go for a more difficult step. Sometimes we may do something that's too difficult and it can hinder what we're presenting, what we're trying to inform whoever may be watching of through your rhythms, because the step may be a little bit too difficult. So I've noticed that sometimes it's just a little bit outside. Again, nobody's perfect. We're not looking for everyone to be at top tier level, but make sure that the stuff that you're doing, again, you're able to present yourself at your highest level clearly. Yes, difficulty counts, but also if it's not clear, I always say it's like using a big word in the wrong context of a sentence. You may pronounce it right, but I think we all get the point with that. Also, just being unique. And sometimes we know past winners and we're friends with past winners, or we seek out choreographers who have choreographed for past winners, and then we try to imitate a past winner because we think that's what the panel may be looking for. My advice would be to be unique, be as honest and true to yourself through your art form, through the dance and what you're presenting in your solo, as opposed to saying, oh, this is what a past winner did, so I'm going to try to imitate or emulate that same thing. Again, the uniqueness, your own artistry, that's what I feel is just as important as, in addition to your technique and ability. And I can stop right there to see if we have any questions, comments, or concerns.
There is one in the chat. Is there anything specifically you're looking for within the technique of knowledge to demonstrate?
Yes, I would say one is your ability to maintain your time and tempo, understanding that phrasing. So we don't want to see maybe a lot of rushing or slowing down. Again, the purpose of with that 3 and a break is to show that you understand that 8-bar phrase. So you have your beginning, you repeat that phrase 3 times, and then you go into your 2-bar break if we're utilizing that 8-bar phrasing for the 3 and a break. Going into your improvising, listening, being able to hear clear phrasing inside of those 16 bars of the improvisation. Will we always know whether or not you're improvising? It depends on how good you are. Sometimes I know the difference when someone has choreographed their last 16 bars and when someone's improvising their last 16 bars. But again, you want to maintain that time and tempo. It shouldn't be speeding up or slowing down, or you shouldn't get lost inside of the phrasing. And also, we'll understand that because we're maintaining that time and we'll hear the count. So where you end in that 32-bar chorus will allow us to know whether or not you're familiar with the musicality or if you're just executing difficult steps. Hope that answered it.
Do you want to go on with another question or no?
Yeah, can you submit for more than one style in the same year? So you can submit in as many categories as you'd like. So you can apply in tap, you can apply in modern, ballet, whatever you are feeling comfortable with applying to. Yes, you can apply in as many categories as you'd like. There is a $35 fee for each of those applications that you submit. However, we also have fee waivers available. And if you aren't able to pay that $35 fee, you can simply write a letter and upload it into your application and your fee is instantly waived. So just make sure that you understand that there are specific requirements for each of those categories that you must follow. And they do differ between categories. So make sure you review them very carefully before submitting.
And I'll just add to that, if you happen to be selected in 2 different categories, you will have to choose which one you will come to Miami with. Okay, so
I'm sorry. It was one more thing I forgot in looking at my notes. It was sometimes in your solo piece that you submit, if you are improvising, make sure that you're able to, how can I say, recreate that same type of energy and feel and emotion that we see when we're watching the piece. if you happen to be selected to attend the National Week, just to make sure that, you know, we're able to get what it is that we saw on the video, that the bar is still being maintained, or if not elevated. And then that was my last one. Sorry about that.
During the week, Marshall, do you want to say anything about how you work with them as a coach?
Sure. So for me, I always am thankful to have the opportunity to coach the wonderful dancers who are selected for YoungArts. The way I view it is you all come in with these superpowers, and then it's just our job to help you, you know, develop and focus those powers, and at the same time to strengthen you and make you more aware of what you're capable of, and push you to maybe higher heights that you may not have been aware that you're capable of achieving. And that's the way I look at it. That's the way I try to go about it. I try to be coach, but also your cheerleader. So I'm in the room yelling and cheering you on, and just trying to encourage you and give as much positive energy as possible.
And I'll say the same for the dance panel who are there watching all of the classes and everything. We are also your cheerleader. So we get to know you very well during the week, because especially when it's in person, because we spend the whole day together on buses and at meals, etc. So it's not only about the studio. We're together all day, and we get to know each other, and you get to know us as well. Also, one part of the process is we do a small interview with everyone, just to see how they're going during the week and how they're feeling, et cetera, et cetera. So there have been lots of people who, some names you may know, that have been winners, that have been coaches. Some of the recent winners we were talking about earlier was Sydney Burtis. She's in New York. I'm not sure what she's doing right now, but she's doing it really well, whatever it is. Jabu has also sort of blossomed into a musical theater, not theater, but musical artist, as well as his tap. Some of the coaches that have been here are Ayadeli Cassell, and Caleb Teicher, who has his own company, and so does Ayadeli. And I work at the Joyce Theater in New York right now, and we present dance 48 weeks out of the year. And just last night, Dormicia and company were also at the Joyce in tap. It was great. People jumped to their feet at the end of the show. Also, we wanted to just sort of hear what Michael, our most recent tap winner, has to say a little bit about his experience that week. And maybe you want to even ask him a question. So Michael, you want to just give us a few words about how you felt about the week and what you got out of it?
Absolutely, yeah. It went by so fast. There was so much more there was so much more happening than I had thought. There was this morning meditation therapy session every morning and at the end of every day, which really tied in the whole thing. In between, I got to spend tons of time with Marshall, just talking and also working on my solo. And some of the stuff that he was talking to me and Dylan, the other tap finalist, I still think about today, and I've been using it. One of those things. I'm not going to give away too much information, but the stuff about the phrasing and how breaking up phrases differently, like 3 bars, 4 bars, 1 bars. I've been thinking about that consciously, even in the past few weeks. So it's been amazing working with him and seeing his perspective on everything. And yeah, not only that, but just taking classes from all other art forms. The first thing I actually took was a poetry class, because we got mixed around throughout all the different art forms, and that was amazing. It was, I think, one of the most special parts of the week was being exposed to a whole new community. I myself have been involved mostly with the tap community, but not so much with the other styles. I do take other styles too, like ballet, hip hop, jazz, and modern, but that's mostly at my dance studio, and I don't get to see many other artists outside of that, so that was really nice. And also getting to know singers and writers and photographers and filmmakers. It was just really nice to share that energy with everyone else, and really cool connecting with people who had a totally different way of expressing themselves. And one of my favorite things about it is that for me, Young Arts is still going on right now because lots of the people involved have created a chat on Instagram, and we talk to each other like on a daily basis. So it's really cool. For me, Young Arts hasn't ended. It's been this one really long experience, and it's changed my life.
Excellent. That sums it up, folks. I might be getting a little teary. So thank you, Michael, for sharing that. I think, that's a really important part of this organization, that it's, besides just the 22 people that you meet there, and that becomes your class that you never forget. There's the broader people outside of your discipline as well. It's pretty amazing. I wish I had known about it, when I was your age. But so do we have questions that we can help you and entice you to apply, anyone, or can help you figure out something? Please. It's so quiet.
I'll leave the chat for a minute to just talk a little bit about what's outside of Young Arts Week. So there are actually 3 levels of winners. Finalist is the top, and finalist is the one who gets to participate in National Young Arts Week. But there is also honorable mentions and merits. Those are unlimited. So as Vernon has mentioned, the finalists are capped at about 22, so that they can participate in the week, but the other levels of winners are unlimited. So, and they also have monetary awards attached to those as well. They also join the finalists in the 20,000+ other alumni community. And in addition to all of those things, there's current programming for, their current winning year, and so much after their winning year. There's residencies and microgrants and scholarships and other opportunities to perform and collaborate with other artists. We have a platform called Young Arts Post that winners at all levels are encouraged to join, and it's basically like a Facebook exclusively for Young Arts winners. And you can go on there and find opportunities, collaborate with other people, with other fellow winners from all different years, from all different disciplines. And it's just a really great platform to connect, to collaborate, to join, to get opportunities, to get money, get funding for your art, get funding for your school, get funding for what you want to do in your career. So it is Young Arts Week, but it's so much more. So I did want to touch base on all of that too, to see if there's any questions about those opportunities as well. Are you allowed to apply for multiple categories if it isn't only dance, like tap and writing? Yes, absolutely. Again, you can apply in as many categories as you like in any discipline, and it would still be the requirements for that particular category and discipline that you're applying in. So yes.
I'll just add in that in one of our other sessions, someone asked, are you ever competing one against one? And I'd like to just talk about that briefly. The answer to that is no, because we are looking at you. The only person you're competing against, and not even against, is yourself. We are not looking at one person is better than the other. We are looking at who has improved, who is that person that started on the Sunday, and where are they on the final day. It's all about you, and we're here to help you, to cheer you on, as we said earlier. So we're not looking to put 2 people in the studio and see who can turn the most. It's not about that. It's just, we're looking for the entire, a whole body, a whole artist that's already there and dreaming of where this person might go to by viewing your insight, how you respond, how you experience what you're given, how you experience the things that you've never seen before. Last time we had a classical Indian masterclass? So that was not something many people had tried before. We often have a ballet masterclass. We bring in great people that are at the top of their career. Robert Battle from Alvin Ailey came and taught a class. So we're picking all of these people, and what an incredible time to, at 14 to, your whatever age you are as a teenager, to be viewed by the head of a major company or a major ballerina or a major tapper that already has their company. So think about that. That's another side of it that is a plus. Okay. No more questions. Teachers, questions, comments? Like, why don't we do X? I don't know.
All right, we got one. So my daughter could apply again next year since she will still be 18 on December 1st. If she's 18 on December 1st of 2023, yes, she can apply next year as well. But if you're talking about her applying this year, that she's 18 on December 1st of 2022, she would be able to apply for this cycle. So the cycle is kind of a year ahead, if you will. You're applying the year before you're actually winning. So just want to be clear on that. Also, say, for example, if your daughter does apply this year and she gets named a finalist and she participates in Young Arts Week, she would not be able to reapply. If she gets an honorable mention or merit, yes, absolutely, she is eligible to reapply. And as a benefit, another benefit of being named one of the other levels of winners is if you do reapply, you bypass those first rounds of the judging process and you go straight to Vernon and the rest of the panel. So that is another, benefit of being a winner in one of the other levels other than finalist. I am going to look up that number right now, so give me 1 second.
And also, do you want to talk about the feedback program, Nidra?
Yes. So the feedback programs was started a few years ago, and that is for an applicant who gets to the panel round, to Vernon and the rest of the panel, but is not awarded and is eligible to reapply the next year. They do receive feedback directly from the panel, and that is crafted feedback from the panel specifically. So that is also another benefit of applying and maybe not necessarily winning. Another benefit of just applying to the program, regardless of whether you win or not, is the SLS program. And that is called the Student List Service. And that is that there are colleges and universities that participate in this program, and they want to reach out to applicants who applied to Young Arts, who are interested in the arts, who are thriving in the arts. And if you opt into this within the application, your name, contact information, such as email, and your materials that you submitted to Young Arts can be shared with these colleges and universities for them to potentially reach out to the applicants, regardless of their award level or their status within the application. So that is also another benefit. But that, again, that is an opt-in for the application. So the applicant actually has to opt into that within the application. We don't just automatically send contact information.
Well, while she's looking for it, I mean, this is one of the reasons we're having these sessions, so that we can increase TAP applicants. We really want to, we have generally every year, we have a group of ballet dancers, we have a group of classical Indian dancers, we have lots of modern dancers of various styles. And then, we have world dance, which it's different every year. Last year there was Irish. I think the year before there was folkloric. So there are a number of options, African, but it's different every year. So we tailor the week to the group we have. There's not a set, who's going to teach or be a master class teacher that year. We see who we have as winners, and then we tailor it to those 22 people.
Yeah, so I just found the past few years back towards 2016, and it's anywhere from 30 to 50 applicants that come for the initial round. I'm sorry, that go to the initial round, and then about half of that ends up getting passed on to Vernon and the rest of the panel. So it is a small amount, and it has kind of gotten smaller over the last couple of years, which is why we are having these info sessions for TAP to really get that number back up. Let's see, what if my daughter were to get chosen for Young Arts Week, but she had a conflict and wasn't able to attend that week? So you are still considered a finalist, even if you do not participate in National Young Arts Week. You are not, unfortunately, eligible to receive the $1,000 to $10,000 because you do have to participate in that week. However, you're still a finalist. You receive a finalist award of $500, and you did not participate in Young Arts Week. So if you are eligible to reapply the following year, you can, as a finalist who did not participate in Young Arts Week.
Good question. Yeah. So the system is, we want everyone to have the opportunity. It's not about keeping people out. We want to bring them in.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, a lot of tap dancers should be encouraged to apply and have this experience. Again, I don't suggest trying to compare yourself to other people. If sometimes people feel like, oh, I know this dancer who was a part of it and they're such a great dancer, I don't think I'm on that level, or whatever the case may be. Just have the experience. It's about having an experience. Look at the application, submit the videos. I feel like there's so much you have to gain just from having the experience, whether you make it to finals week or not. It's a wonderful experience. It's a very supportive organization when it comes to tap dancing, just the caliber of dancers and coaches. And I'm not just saying this because I've been selected as one of them. But if you go back and look at the history of the organization and who's been a part of it, they're doing a lot to make sure that the tap dancers who are part of this young arts experience have the best available to them, not just at Young Arts, but also moving forward in their careers and what they choose to do in life. So again, if there are people who you know should be on this info session who couldn't make it, or you feel like this is something they should be a part of, or again, willing to have the experience, share this information with them and encourage them to really apply.
And check out the YouTube channel to see, like, what other people have been doing, not to copy them, but just to see what they've been doing. Oh, there's another question.
So yes, these are all these recordings of the info sessions will be put up on our YouTube channel. So yes, they will be available.
And we're going to share them by email also to all participants, and everyone who had signed up for the session, we all get an email with the recording also.
Well, it feels like we're coming to the end. If there are no more questions, thank you all for being here. I'm glad to see parents and teachers as well. Tell all of your students that this is available to them, because we need your help to sort of spread the word, especially in TAP, which for some reason has dwindled in the last couple of years. But as Marshall has said, it's a great experience for TAP and for any type of dance that we, in the programs that we provide. Great. Okay,
Yeah, and if you do have if you think of any questions after this session, please feel free to email apply@youngarts.org. We also have a feature on the website called Ask an Artist, and that is where you can be connected to a past winner to talk about how their application experience went, their participation went, and what it's like to be to have a life in the arts. So both of those options are very great to be connected and get your questions answered.
okay. Is that sayonara?
Thank you all so much.
Yes, thanks for being here, and please apply, apply, apply. Bye all.
Bye.